Beacon Hose Company number 1, a reported motor vehicle accident with unknown injuries, Route 8 southbound between exit 24 and 25. Be a reported head-on collision, possibly people entrapped, and one unresponsive now in the vehicle at 330 WQXH 456.
I remember seeing the car come at me and that's it. I don't remember nothing else. But hearing everything, I'm shocked I'm here too.
It's miraculous that, as you know, that you're here. So it's great to see.
And just be advised, we're now taking possibly 3 entrapped with 1 unresponsive. A truck rolled over now. We continue to take multiple 911s.
With a head-on collision at high speed, immediately pops into my head that the dash could be pinning this patient in the vehicle.
Josh, can you give Waterbury a heads up that we're going out?
The trauma team consists of surgeons, anesthesiologists, x-ray, and other ancillary staff. So the more quickly we can get them, or the earlier we can notify them that something severe is coming in, the more prepared they are when you arrive.
8600.
We parked the ambulance in the northbound lane because we knew the trauma center was that way. And instead of going up and around and then having to do the whole thing again, and with traffic, we parked the ambulance on the northbound lane, which is unusual for us.
Rescue 4, will be responding. Rescue 4 to 5. Can we just come the wrong way? Command to Rescue 4, confirmed. You can come up the wrong way. We are on the S-curves, highway shut.
We did things on initial dispatch that we don't normally do. You know, we came up the wrong way to the highway.
Right.
You know, and all this stuff, who knows why? I mean, I seen the damage of the car when I first got there. I didn't necessarily see the patients yet. I just knew something was obviously either going to be seriously wrong or bad. So, you know, keeping ambulances on the other side and bringing that apparatus up the wrong way, I mean, it was just a quick,
Right.
it took probably, 10 minutes off of that time to get things rolling.
Yeah.
1 full trauma at this time with extrication.
We found this young lady in the car, trapped in the car, dashboard on her, leg very severely injured, and not conscious, a GCS of about 4. She was being held by a state trooper, and I grabbed her like this, and I'm holding her from behind me because she's kind of out of the car.
Initially, our Rescue 4 deployed their Hirsch tools to the driver's side to start working on the patient. And as Engine 3, our second due piece, deployed their Hirsch tools and started extricating the passenger right away. Due to the seriousness of the dash being pinned on the driver, we had to remove the passenger first to get into the vehicle to do an ultimate dash lift to remove the driver.
Vehicle 1 with 2 patients. Passenger has been extricated at this time. Driver is in process.
I've never seen a vehicle so badly damaged and a person so trapped in a vehicle that we just started cutting with the cutters. And we removed that door and lifted that dashboard in probably about 5 minutes. I'll be perfectly honest with you, I didn't think I'd be sitting here talking to you today.
Command CMAT, you can extrication complete.
As soon as the extrication is complete, get her onto a backboard, onto the stretcher. We quickly moved the stretcher across the highway, over the Jersey barrier, where we had another waiting stretcher in the back of the ambulance. As soon as you get in the back of the ambulance and everyone is in, close the doors and go to the hospital.
CMAT BH6 is en route, starting mileage 10635.6, ALS on board, priority 1.
Everything that we can do for that patient needs to be done while we're moving, because with that patient, any patient who's a victim of trauma, of severe trauma, whether it be internal bleeding or external bleeding or both, really needs surgical intervention. They need someone to get in there and stop internal bleeding, stop external bleeding.
CMAT BH6, arrival Waterbury Hospital, landing mileage is 10645.0.
It seemed like time was taking forever when you were that seriously injured. So when you shared with us the amount of time it actually took, that I was astonished.
Even including an extrication, our on-scene time was incredibly short, and our transport time was incredibly fast. Who was driving the ambulance? Okay, that's why. That's an incredible response time, and it's, you know, a 33-minute overall activation to arrival at ED time, which is amazing. When we arrived at the hospital, the trauma team was waiting, and then they took over from there.
The only thing that kept in my mind was, all right, this is a blunt trauma. If she loses pulse, if her heart stops at all, you know, within 10 minutes, like that's an indication to do an emergency department thoracotomy. Survival from that is less than 1%. But when she lost pulse, that was kind of my green light to go. So by then, the chief resident, Dr. Karimi, showed up, and I started the incision to the emergency department thoracotomy on the left side. And at that point, we delivered the heart, and Dr. Ramros and I, we did a cardiac massage for, I think, over 90 minutes, which is
So you understand what this means is they cut her chest, spread her ribs, and reached in and manually provided a heartbeat for her for an hour and a half.
It was unusual because after that long, you would normally stop and say, okay, you've done way too much and there's no reason to go further. But what was odd was that even when her heart was stopped, she was still moving from time to time. And that kind of kept us going.
We stayed in the emergency department in the room watching this resuscitation take place for about an hour. And even after an hour, we weren't sure whether or not she was going to come out of there. We were like, I don't know. This is just, I've not seen someone this badly injured who went into arrest, get out of the hospital. I've not seen that. So
she gave us all the signs that we have to keep going. We knew that she had a mangled extremity. We knew that she had a significant amount of blood loss. So once we got control of that, and we had control of her heart, and that we cross-clamped the aorta to make sure that all the blood that we were pumping is going to the brain and to the actual heart itself. So we kept giving her blood products, and with that, she would show us signs that she is moving all four extremities, so her brain is perfusing, and so we kept going, and her heart would stop, and we would put on a medication that would promote contractility of the heart, and then her heart would stop pumping again.
And he looked at me and said, you're 1% of people who actually make it. Wow.
We called one of the really well-known thoracic surgeons at Yale just to get his opinion about what to do with the chest after, and he said, okay, so you did the ED thoracotomy, and what happened? The patient's up on the 9th floor. What? Yeah. I've never seen that happen before.
When I called Dana, and I said, how's my trauma patient from the other night? And she asked me who, and you were a Jane Doe still to me. It was a Jane Doe. And she's like, well, she said you were somewhere. I'm like, no effing way. Is she, I was like, that can't be. She's like, oh yeah, she's doing great. Like, she's a trooper, which is awesome. I was very pleasantly shocked.
Yeah, I don't know how to pull a throw up.
Strong. You got the will. The most important person in the story, and the person who worked the hardest, is Jailisa. Absolutely. Right? Because she had the will to live, even if she didn't realize it. It was probably subconscious, but she knew that she was going to live. And she's the one who worked the hardest during this whole thing. We were just kind of helpers in that. And we're very glad that you're here, and we're very glad that we were part of it. Do you have anything to say? Want to say anything?
I just want to say thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
It is just very surreal because I just saw the narrative of the whole thing, and I'm just like, how is this person alive? And now it's just like you're here, and it's like I don't know, it's just like an honor to meet you, and I'm just so happy that we were able to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's just awesome. Everything worked together. Planets were all lined up, and you have serious will to be here.
Perfect teamwork, working perfectly, you know. The only reason we got to do what we got to do in Trauma Bay was because you guys did what you do best. The only reason we got you the operating room was because the nursing staff and the team in the ICU did what they need to do. And the only reason you're walking out here today is all of that was coordinated all together with your strong will, and here we are today. So
Yeah, it's quite a miracle, and we're really humbled.
I get depressed about my leg, but I feel like that's the reason why I'm here. God took my leg and not me. So,
I think he's in the fire truck right now.
yeah. I have rehab every day. And they would come and I would be in pain, and they're like, you want to stand there? I'm like, no, we're gonna do the rehab. We're gonna do therapy. Yeah, I'm not missing therapy. I want to go home to my child.
There's probably 100 members of this fire department, roughly. Every single one of them is praying for you.
I met the surgeons. You know, I've seen them every day when I was in the hospital. But I never got to meet the people that actually helped me. That were you guys that actually got there first.
you know how we all work, so we're volunteers.
Mm-hmm. My sister told me that.
It's crazy
and that's
stuff.
what I said. Yeah, you guys didn't have to do that. Thank you for the letter. And MJ's letter.
And truly on our side, we never get to meet people after almost. It's just on the phone, we hear what happened, and it's amazing to see you in front of me and know that you're okay, especially after what we could only hear them telling us.
You were on 4 medications that were keeping your blood pressure up. You were on a machine that was helping you breathe, and you fought through that. And when we were able to take the tube out, the first thing you said was, "Can I have a hug?" So
I love that. You're now part of the Beacon Host family, like it or not.
I can't